Vybz Kartel did not deserve what he got. He did not deserve 35 years.
On the track.
Welcome back to our channel, guys. Now today is such an emotional day, especially for the fans of Vybz Kartel. Now we're just going to take a brief review of the case. What was it like when it was in the Supreme Court, when it reached the Court of Appeal, and we'll be just taking a look at how the justice system is flawed. Now personally for me, Vybz Kartel was given an unfair trial. Based on the evidence that was presented before the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, it was sufficient enough to order a retrial. Not freedom, but a retrial. I can't wholeheartedly say that Vybz Kartel did not commit the crime. I can't say that because I was not there, but I think based on the evidence that was presented, the case was not handled properly. It was mishandled. Therefore, he has a fundamental right. It's in the Charter of Fundamental Rights, a right to a fair trial. Now, Vybz Kartel just lost his appeal. The judgment was handed down by the president of the Court of Appeal, that's Dennis Morrison. Also hearing the appeal was Frank Williams and Patrick Brooks. Now, the case against Vybz Kartel was solely based on a testimony of the witness who saw Clive Lizard Williams, whose body has not been recovered, been beaten lifelessness. There was also a digital information extracted from the mobile telephones from dancehall artist Sean Storm, as well as the telephone data from the service provider for the phones used by William. There was also 2 backup discs with the records that were provided by the phone company. One you would expect to be used for copying and analysis, and the other to be kept safely, to be used for authenticity. Somehow between the prosecutors and the police, they contrived to lose that backup disc. That not sound funny to me. That don't sound off to me. No. Sergeant Patrick Linton, he was the head of the police cyber unit at the time, who extracted data from the phones. In behavior, at least, it was careless and extreme. He left the keys to the cabinet in which he stored the phones on top of the very cabinet. Sensitive information, Kartel's phone or anything else was easily accessible. It was easily accessible to anyone who wished to avail themselves of that key. One of Kartel's phone, also a critical exhibit in the case, was used to make calls while in the custody of the police. That's tampering with evidence. How can you use a cell phone to make a call while an ongoing investigation is going on? Right? So those are some of the things that we have to look at when we're analyzing the case.
A bittersweet moment. Vybz Kartel verdict this morning, or his appeal, he lost his appeal. I kind of did not expect it, because the behave like the Vybz Kartel is he has done any crime bigger or greater than some so-called people we know in a society where we are put on a high pedestals and are going like say them are some holy moly, and we know say them are not holy moly. But I'm not even going to get into that, because if we get into that, I want different argument I start totally. But I just say, I never expect them to say Kartel are going to walk free out of prison this morning. But I kind of didn't expect them to say, alright, we are reducing sentence. Because the truth of the matter is, there's evidence to say that his case, he didn't get a fair trial, as in the tamper with evidence and all of them things there. He never get a fair trial.
The trial was unjust. It was not a fair trial in no way whatsoever. Now I know society does not like Vybz Kartel. Reason being, he has way too much power and authority and influence on individuals within society, and as such, politicians, government, the system cannot stand that, and that is why he is behind bars, really. Parents, y'all have an issue with Vybz Kartel because y'all don't know how to raise your kids and have outsourced the responsibility to that artist after him telling you many times his responsibility is not to raise your child, period. And that's facts. That's not his responsibility, that's yours. So yes, I believe that that's one of the reasons why they made it top priority to place him there and ensure that he stays there. Another thing the jury was tainted with, and they still continued the case. They were sent to make a decision at 3:45 p.m. when courthouse closes at 3. So that was a rush verdict indeed, and that placed them under pressure to do exactly what the system wanted them to do.
A lot of persons are going to say, oh, Vybz Kartel deserves to be in prison, he deserves to be where he's at today. But put aside your feelings for once and just look at the case itself. Look at the case being presented before you. Look at the unfairness of the trial. That's what we're arguing. We're not arguing whether he did the crime or not. Because if he did the crime, he should pay the time. He should be in prison. Right? But we're looking at the fact that it was mishandled. We're looking at the fact that it's not Vybz Kartel versus Clive Lizard Williams. It's Vybz Kartel versus the system. And that is where a lot of persons need to understand that this is getting more serious.
If only you sitting there thinking I'm an idiot or I'm a die-hard Vybz Kartel fan, which is true. But if only you would just put aside the fact that he's an adult-oriented entertainer and look at it as if he's an individual. That could have been you. Nobody knows if he's guilty or not.
The system will get rid of who them feel them have the needs to get rid of, right? It's not because Kartel did anything why they want to get rid of him, but it's because the system think that he's too influential, and some of the so-called top class people in this society, children are being influenced too, and them never say a man here to have so much control over the Jamaican population. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's the truth. So they must say, we can't have Kartel dominate so much things and influence so much young people and elderly people too. Murder is never okay. Never okay. Even if me commit murder, it is never ever okay. So I'm not gonna ever sanction murder. When I talk about with Vybz Kartel is that he deserve a fair trial. Many people do worse than that, and at them first offense, and them don't get them years the like what Kartel do. And this a Kartel first offense, and you give him a life, 35 years. Come on, jurisdictionary system where we have. Come on, we're hypocrites.
And I believe that because the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal is here locally in Jamaica, that is also another factor to consider as to why he lost both cases. But once he sends his appeal to the Privy Council, their legal system is different, so the chances of him getting an acquittal is very high. So you have to take in consideration all that information that was just presented. And that was just the phone. That was just the phone evidence alone. There are a lot of other flaws in the system. Right after Vybz Kartel was sentenced to life imprisonment, a number of the jurors that were on his case resigned. They resigned. We have to sit and wonder if they were forced into the decision that they make. We have to sit and wonder a lot of things because the case was mishandled. And personally for me, I think that he should have been ordered a retrial because we all deserve it. If he did the crime, he paid the time. But do it on the basis where he gets a fair trial. Look at all the evidence. If you can't find sufficient evidence, then he should be freed.
If Vybz Kartel's case was tried properly, I wouldn't be sitting here today saying that I disagree with the verdict that was handed down today. Why? What a man do? What him do? I don't understand what him do. I don't understand for true. He's a regular human being like us. And dancehall artists, dancehall music, at least the music that Kartel sings, is a mirror of what is happening in some communities, and that is why the youth step to his music like that. Same as all Shensia song, the side chick song, and many could relate, even though it's rubbish, many could relate because it is happening in today's world. That is what the man never said nobody for take up the gun. He only sings that people are take up gun, which is the truth. It is the truth. So, I feel that way this morning. I feel as if the system protects who they want to protect.
The poor suffer from this. The rich man now go through it because him having money. So therefore him not going through it. But because in the know the Vybz Kartel, he is for the poor, him coming from a poor background. When I say, oh such a poor man have so much influence. Oh such a poor man. We never gone to university, him never graduate with no bachelor's or no master's or no PhD. Oh, such a poor man have so much influence and dictate what go on through him music, because him dictate a lot of things. Him sing about enough things. So I dictate things and it happen. Then I say, how comes him where so-called not educated, because if you don't go to college you're not educated, you know. A lot of them don't look at you if you don't go to college. Vybz Kartel did not deserve what he got. He did not deserve 35 years. He did not. He did not. It's not a sin. Or should I say it is a sin for born poor. Because him poor, and that's why all of them something happened to him. I'm not sure. If it was some others, if it was some other, I can't want to say things some way you can't say, you know, enough to say, you know. But Kartel didn't deserve it. The fact of the matter is we can't undo what is already done. But we still support. I like him music, I like him creativity, I like him going at some words where you have to draw for the dictionary and say, Jesus, so him couldn't just use a simple word, but no, it make you think. If you listen to him, listen to Kartel.
So, according to reporters and public personalities all across Jamaica and in my opinion across the globe, Vybz Kartel is one of the most influential and potent dancehall artists. But I still stand by my truth. I believe that with or without him, even when you try to tear him down, whatever he's singing about, whatever I'm DJ about, whatever I'm talk about, whatever I'm put out there, whatever people want to believe, they're still going to do it, they're still going to see it, they're still going to experience it because Kartel is reality and that's what he does. How I feel about the trial, I think it was flawed from the get-go, and I think it was just exercising power to prove a point. Say, yeah, are we make you, are we give the power? Because really and truly, are we give the influence him have? If it wasn't people for believing in him and actually give his art or his talent any value or meaning, then you really wouldn't be a Vybz Kartel for really say it. All of these kids and all of these thugs and all of this bad is affiliated with this one man. So I think it was just an exercise of power. I guess them want to say, oh, we can take you down as quick as you think you can reach up there and
It's almost embarrassing, and it goes deeper into showing the cracks in the judicial and the wider justice system of the country, where you use for imprison a man, where you use for deny him appeal. We still don't have a body in people. Let's not forget that. And many criminal shows can tell you that. If somebody didn't have a body, you can't really pronounce them dead. Or you gotta say them dead and you don't see a body, you see me? With all of the faults, and I'm a bit disappointed. I was really hoping to see him come home because everybody deserves a second chance. We don't know if him do it or not. I don't know. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I still would like to see him come home though. I'm not going to criticize him going to the Privy Council. I think, we have to exercise all our channels before we give up his eat, and I hope he's not losing faith. But trust me, this is just a crappy display of Jamaica's authority, in my opinion.
He taught me how to believe in myself and how to believe and love the skin that I am in. He taught me self-confidence. He taught me self-worth. And I know you guys must be asking like how, I don't know, but trust me, he did, and I'm very appreciative of that fact. And regardless of the fact if you like him or not, you cannot take away from the fact that he's an intelligent individual. And until he receives a fair trial, the nation will keep on talking. The nation will keep on talking. This is very unfair and unjust, and it is disgusting. So let us know your thoughts and views in the comment section below. We welcome all opinions and facts. So until next time, we'll see you, and don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel.
It means he stays convicted of the offense of murder until any other court says otherwise. So that is why we would go to the Privy Council. As you know, the Privy Council is the highest court that we can appeal to. And it's more or less the same process that we do here. Much more paperwork. And we will have to retain counsel in England, in the UK, Queen's Counsel. We have persons on standby. We have prepared for all of this.
Okay, so if they have denied the appeal, what do you need the extra 7 days for then?
Okay, they have given us 7 days to submit some papers. They give us a reasonable time because they know that there's a COVID shutdown right now and state of emergency. So they have given us sufficient time to get the matters before them. It's basically it, not anything great. And then we will hear from them again as to the sentence for each person separately.
So it is possible that the Court of Appeal will reduce the sentence?
Oh, that's a possibility. I think that is a real possibility.
But where it relates to getting him off completely, you'll have to go to the Privy Council.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
But it means to me, ladies and gentlemen, that the trial, it looks small to you, but to us as legal persons, the fact that they are looking at reducing it is something that inures to our benefit.
Thank you.
So we will but when I read the transcripts, which were 10 volumes, it was my view that he did not get a fair trial. So So we are confident in that, and we will be pursuing that.
Too early now to talk about the